Ma alustaksin tänast moepaneeli ühe minu meelest väga hästi sõnastatud mõttega. See kõlab nii. Hoolivus, nõudlikkus ja innovaatiline tulevikuvaade on sõnad, mis on täna märgilise tähendusega nii moetööstuses kui tarbimises. Viru Keskus, kui suurima külastatavusega moekeskus Eestis, on võtnud oma südame asjaks seista oluliste ning ka raskete moeteemade kõlakoja tekitamise ja edendamise eest. Kas sina tead, mis sul täna seljas on? Milline on sinu viimase ostu tegelik ökoloogiline jalajälg? MoeTargaks ei sünnita, selleks kasvatakse. Tarkus on oskus kuulata, enda harida ja olla uudishimulik. Valida kiirete naudingute asemel teadlikud otsused. Ja just sellel põhjusel oleme täna siin Viru Keskuse rahvaraamatus, et rääkida nendel teemadel oma ala ekspertidega. Minuga on täna siin Piret Pupart, disainer ja Eesti Kunstiakadeemia moeosakonna juhataja. Minuga tema kõrval on Stella Soomlais, omanimelise aksessuaaribrändi looja ja disainer ja käesolevast aastast ka Kunstiakadeemia aksessuaari ja köitedisaini osakonna juhataja. Siin on ka Ann Runnel, jätkusuutliku innovatsiooni ja ringmajanduse ekspert Euroopa Komisjonis, samuti idufirma Reverse Resources asutaja ja juht. Sealpool on Silke Liiser, rahvusvahelise moeturunduse ekspert, kes töötanud üle 10 aasta rahvusvahelises ettevõtetes turunduse ja kommunikatsiooni vallas. Ja tänaseks on ta asutanud oma kommunikatsiooni ja brändiloome agentuuri Gegenpol, mis tegeleb ennekõike just jätkusuutlike brändidega. Ja tema kõrval on Flavio Perrini, kes on Baltika Grupi juhatuse esimees, keda saadab suur kogemus jaekaubanduses selliste brändide juures nagu Max Mara, H&M, Okaidi. Ja täna on töö toonud Flavio Eestisse ning juba siis maikuust valmivad Baltika Grupi kollektsioonid tema terava pilgu all. Mina olen Aljona Eesmaa, veebiportaali portail.ee peatoimetaja ja mina modereerin siis täna seda väärikat vestlust siin, rahvusvahelist moepaneeli ja nüüd me lähemegi üle inglise keelsele vestlusele. So hello everybody, thank you for being here. So let's start our today's discussion with something I think very humane. How are you feeling today, everybody? After all the lockdowns, crises, maybe panic, then calm, how did this crisis affect all of you personally? Piret, what about you?
Of course, it had its drastic measures. I mean, I think a lot of us experienced things moving online, and that's what I experienced as well. And the spring just overlaps with students creating their final collections, for example. So it's very hard to actually do fittings and pattern cutting instructions and, picking the right colors and shapes over the little online window you have on your desktop.
What do you think, how did brands, fashion brands, luxury brands, our local brands like Baltica brands manage to cope with the crisis?
I've seen that all brands, however, were reacting the same way. I mean, it means looking at the supply chain, what to do, with the goods. People, how to manage, these actions, and also how to manage, the fact that probably the business has changed because this, let's say, this invisible enemy, as Trump is calling, is still, is still there, and it has changed the world, unfortunately. So, I mean, we definitely review entirely our business model. I mean, in our case.
Good. Anyone else?
Just wanted to comment on your comment that at first when the lockdown came, then a lot of brands, as you mentioned, did big discounts for the consumers. And I was talking to different brands, and it was good to hear that there were a lot of like the support local type of act.
And I think it was nice to see, like, even I don't have a brand, but the support and this community like came together, and that was really, really nice to see. Piret, did you wanted to add something?
I was just thinking about, also marketing strategies changing or well, what we all experienced was all the kind of the show world took a very different turn. But I'm not indicating towards digital, which I think in a way was the easiest step to take. And it has its backfires when you don't have like a mega professional team working on it.
Did we learn anything from the crisis as a fashion industry, as a fashion people? Or is it too soon to tell? Flavio, what do you think?
Well, no, it's not too soon. I think it has been, I think for the fashion industry and for the retail industry in particular, that was, the biggest war ever. So from the biggest war, you start from scratch sometimes, tabula rasa, and you need to rebuild everything. Business-wise, not only, entrepreneurs or CEO needs to rethink about the business, but everybody needs to rethink about the business. We need to build a fashion sustainable model starting from scratch for me, not only for the product, because sometimes, and then I'm eager, also to hear you about this point. It has been used only for marketing and advertising. Yes, let's do that because it's sustainability. You can't. You need to get it. Yes, of course. You need to get it.
It's really tough to say, but if we talk about sustainability, that's such a wide term. It's so complex, it's so multi-layered, and it has so many stakeholders, like the brands themselves, the factories, the production, the consumers. I actually strongly believe in the power of consumers, I have to say.
Yeah.
It's going to be a process, and you cannot do it all at once. And I think it's too much pressure if you tell companies to change that radically and rapidly right away. But I see a lot of nice things happening. I see very common fashion brands coming out with some Earth Capsule collection. I just saw it from a German brand, and they were communicating in such an honest way. And I think honesty and transparency is going to be the friend of the companies. It's not the enemy. It's other ways you cannot do it.
Okay. That's the good part. We've kind of stopped glamoring fashion. And
finally.
Finally, which used to be such a sugar-coated world and full of glitz, and people were so much attracted to it, and now we're in a way also attracted to solving the problems, which is another thing which is also good, that people still feel that they want to be engaged, but now they want to become problem solvers.
People started to see their own role in this construction for the first time through this crisis. And they started to understand that if they do not take action, nothing might change. So I always bring up this term of a strategic consumer. So what we have to be aware of is that every receipt is a vote.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of take over from where you said that the consumer has the ultimate power, and I think that's absolutely true. Just thinking that how to convert, this segment who is shopping without a conscience, let's say it so. And you said that, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, somehow that politics maybe isn't that important. Was it so?
No, it has to go hand in hand.
Hand in hand,
I just said
exactly.
it might take too long, because it's too complicated for the regular consumer to understand.
That's true. But on the other hand, I feel that politics, on the other hand, have a great impact, because they can really make, whether the companies take a stand or make a change, at the same time, not waiting for the consumer to start asking for these products in a larger scale. And I'm just happy that we have some laws out. We have the Green Deal out. We have the new legislation that asks for the end-of-use textiles to be separately collected by 2025, which is super close. I would be so happy if we would get, or if we would have bigger talks of involving government level money into these projects, because they are expensive. Figuring out all these techniques, it's not always the easiest thing to do.
Yeah. I was just about to ask about what are the innovations, or
well, I'm just thinking,
how should we move forward?
Thinking of our neighbors up north, Finland is really at the forefront of dealing with a lot of textile innovation. Aalto University working on ion cells, so they can really gather viscose and recycle it times over times, and without as they say, losing the qualities. You know, at one point we have so much textile and we have to do something with it, so it can be turned into a great investment. And on the other side, they have invested also government money into the textile recycling plants.
But I am quite confident that over the next 5 years we're going to see quite a lot of shift happening where fashion industry will be able to start capturing its own waste and turn it back into fashion again. It's coming. It's like very massively coming.
It has to come.
Yeah. So we are at the moment working with 7 different technologies that are doing that. All of them are in first industrial scale plant size, first experiments level, but it's just like, woo, it's gonna come. So
can you open up a few? I'm sorry. Absolutely.
No,
Curious.
I'm just like fascinated. I'm just listening.
Yeah, well, mechanical recycling is something that has been there a long time, but it has been more like hidden again. That, for example, what fabric mills in India have been doing, they take waste, they put part of it into the new yarns, and they don't even talk about it. But it's a whole industry. It's just that they didn't sell it before. That wasn't the story. Now it's becoming a story. Fashion industry hasn't been using this too much. That has gone to home textiles and other industries, but now fashion industry is discovering it. The quality of these recycled materials aren't that high compared to what we are used to buying as fashion. So there is a shift of like, okay, let's educate the consumer to want a slightly different type of product as well. That's also one challenge. And that education is difficult to do. But at the same time, the quality is really also improving. So when these chemical recyclers kick in, there is no quality difference anymore. And then the consumer doesn't even have to know that it's actually a second life for this fiber anymore. So yeah, there are chemical recyclers who are able to take 85% of any textile, take apart polyester, elastane, and cotton, and just recycle all of them separately and either make new viscose pulp or I actually don't know what do they. Yeah, polyester. You can also turn into new high-quality polyester. Yes, you can. There are several technologies for that as well. It's just that it has been the trouble of separating the fibers. Now that is solved as well. So it's just a matter of scaling it up, and that takes money. It takes time, but it's there. It's all there.
It's the future.
It's the future.
But as we are here today to educate ourselves, and as they say, if you want to change the world, you have to start with yourself. And I hear that Piret has some very good suggestions for us on how to create a sustainable wardrobe for yourself. So now we're jumping to a bit of a wardrobe topic.
Wardrobe topic, yes. Well, it's actually like a little assignments I do also with students sometimes, and I think it's just something that each one of us who's here or who's behind the screen can do. Super simple, just to analyze yourself. First of all, I'm still saying it, like take care of your care label still, because I think for me it's very important up to now. Also for just to understand what the material is about, because we've really lost the sense of material. It's also interesting to get much more introduced, because our grannies are much more educated than we are, and that's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
But the first one would be really creating yourself a mini wardrobe to really pick out. It's super simple, and I think many of you maybe even have heard about this method. Just pick out 10 pieces. Let's skip the undies, right? Otherwise it gets too complicated. But 10 pieces, and really go and try it out to use them for a fortnight. So for 2 weeks, it's not a long time. You could challenge yourself, do a month. That would be much more awesome. But summer is a good time to do it. Otherwise, we need to use so much layers. So
Yeah,
you can
it
be a
gets
bit
cold.
You can be a bit more playful about it, and that really tells you what your essentials, what your basics are, and that would also probably affect your opinion on the durability of things. You're most likely to wash the things more, and you'll see how your cheap T-shirt actually wore out. So you would be ready to put more finance into, let's say, a premium product. I'm not saying luxury, but premium. If we plan it right, most of us can afford it in the end.
But a quality product.
It's a quality product, and it's important because if we look at some numbers, then a quality product you're likely to wear about 70 times or more, and with the industry average is below 10. So it's a drastic difference what you can end up with.
Yeah.
And you can really reduce also, so going for the quality. The other, which is maybe a bit more, let's say, groundbreaking for oneself, because you go a layer deeper, and that one is a short one. It doesn't take you a month. You can do it in a few hours or maybe half a day, depending how big your wardrobe is. It's just to separate your items and put mixed fabrics and mixed fibers on one heap and monomaterials on the other. Although Anne said, yes, we have the technology to really work with mixed fibers, but it will take a bit time, it will take a bit finance, so we don't have it yet, but we have the opportunity to do stuff and to do it much faster with monofibers. So let's say this is a short-term and maybe short-sighted assignment, but it's still valid for a few years for sure. And I'm very sure that the heap consisting of mixed fibers is much bigger than what you have there, just pure linen, pure cotton, silks, wool, things like that, that you could experience.
Actually, in terms of recycling, you should just avoid elastan.
And that's
it can be mixed materials, but don't use
Don't go for
elastan, then it's fine.
So that's a good another tip there, because the next time you go and do your decision, you can go really, as I said, a layer deeper and also be part of it. Let's say the future of the item, what you discard. So the afterlife, you are more responsible about the afterlife as well. So these would be these two super simple things everybody can try out. So you would, next to looking at what the material is about, you know, is it durable, are the seams well done? So we're saying the premium product, but you can also look into the composition and what you can do about this. So making a selection based on that.
I've seen a lot how brands kind of do these experiments that let's put the product on sales and see if it sells. Or let's increase the price to see if the consumer is ready to pay a higher premium price for sustainability. And these experiments always come back saying that the consumer doesn't want it.
The other moment, I mean, people will choose or will get the choice, I mean, to get, I mean, a sort of T-shirt at $3.99 or a T-shirt of $8.99 or $9.99, cotton made, same one, you know, but sustainable. And they will choose simply because of a trend or because of money, will be that. So, I mean, these are what we said will remain simply words. I think we need to start from the basic stuff. I mean, you as part of the Estonian academic heart, I think you have a great mission in front of you. Because if it has not been done, I mean, in school or in the family, where, I mean, we need to try to give, you know, to our kids the best we can, but with not only the best we can in terms of money. I mean, that's not a matter of money only. It's a matter of value. It's a matter of appreciating things. It's a matter of how to interact with the environment, you know, how to interact with and to interact with the environment means how also you are going to dress yourself.
I'm sorry, we have run out of our time, but it was very interesting talking to you, and thank you. Thank you. We can continue. Just a few words now in Estonian. Ja siinkohal mina lõpetangi ja annan sõna üle Viru Keskuse turundus- ja kommunikatsioonijuhile Kristel Sugarule, kellel on üks väga väärt uudis välja kuulutada.
I am so excited, and actually this was the reason why we as a part of the business industry, as a big retailer, we took responsibility to open the topics, to ask the difficult questions, and to really, we feel that we are ready. We are all in the same boat. We have to ask the questions, and we have to challenge ourselves. And I think the the point what we finished, that you have to challenge, and if it's wrong, then you have to stop it. But what is right, what is wrong, it's maybe still open. But more important, I have one very, I think, important thing to say and announce. As we finished with the education, and really the education is the beginning and the end of all the fashion and every industry. And that's why I'm so glad to inform that we have decided as a main leading retail fashion center in Estonia, we have decided to really take and support our art university, and we are together building up export programs. The award is called Viru Keskus and Young Design Export Award. So we took a moment, and we are really supporting to build up the new generation of designers, and not only designers, but focusing to export and to really add something to Estonia and to grow. And of course, the question is the most sustainable way. So
yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.